We're back with Mark Kendall of Great White talking about the OC Metal Meltdown with your buddies, Quiet Riot with Rudy Starzo and the boys. Also, of course, Vixen and Slaughter with Dana
Yeah,
Strum talking about Randy
yeah.
Rhodes. He was right there introducing,
Oh
Randy
yeah.
to Ozzy. And what was crazy about
Dana.
that, Randy was never a Black Sabbath fan. He's like, like I said, he was into Bowie and Ronson and Alice Cooper. But
Right.
man, what a
He
monster.
really. But one thing that was good for him, whether he's a big fan or not, was he really got to showcase his skills with
Oh
Ozzy.
yeah. I
And
mean, it's
and
like night and day
and
listening to those early Japan only Quiet
oh,
Riot and
he got
Diary of a
it got
Madman and Blizzard.
it got everybody's full attention when he was able to showcase his skills, because the way the Quiet Riot stuff was, um, Randy's always been, potential legend and guitar monster,
Yeah.
but he really didn't play a ton of solos in that band. It was just the way the songs were constructed.
Yeah.
It really didn't. It wasn't nothing like the Ozzy
Yeah, it didn't
era.
show him off like Blizzard. And I mean, you
Yeah,
think of a
nothing.
song like
Yeah.
Crazy Train, you hear Randy's riffs at like every football
Oh
game and
yeah,
everything now.
right in your face. Yeah, right in your face.
And you hear those
So yeah,
chords, and
it's
it's
a
like,
whole
oh
different.
man, little Randy from Burbank and North Hollywood here. That's
But
incredible.
then you learn more about him when you heard his skills and how badass he was. It's like you kind of find out he was a teacher. He gave
Yeah.
lessons. He knew a lot of theory.
He was into
You know what I mean?
classical guitar and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you realize, oh, no wonder he plays this good. He knows all this stuff.
And of course, his family's Smithsonian School of Music is still there, right there on Laurel Canyon
That's
Boulevard.
that
Legend.
fabulous. Yeah,
I know. I
that's
knew.
really cool,
Kelly
man.
said when Zach Wild walked in there, he looked around. He says, "This is Mecca. This is it right here, man. This is where the
Yeah,
monster Randy Rhodes was born."
too cool. Yeah, it's really neat.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So I know this is a big homecoming show because I mean I'm looking at credits. Of course, you toured with Whitesnake and Judas Priest and Kiss, and I mean you name it.
Scorpions, all
Yeah,
kinds, all the big
Scorpions
names.
and God, everybody. I even see a credit. Did
Yeah,
you play at Magic Mountain with Rat? Was that an early show?
yeah, yeah.
Wow. They used to have a little
Well,
amphitheater in the
after
middle
we
of Magic Mountain, Valencia.
yeah after we changed our name, the Great White, and made that EP,
Uh-huh.
we did a show with Rat, and that was like at the time a really big show for us. 6,500 people.
Yeah, it's an amphitheater. Van Halen played there. Everybody played there.
Yeah. It was all concrete, so it was really kind of bouncy sounding in there. But
Yeah.
when the people got in, it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, it kind of absorbed it. So again,
Yeah,
this is four LA based bands all coming together. I remember when Slaughter even made that Up All Night video, they shot it at the Tower Records down in Anaheim. If you look at that video for
well,
Up All Night, they shot that at the
yeah.
Tower Anaheim. So a lot of history in
You
Anaheim
know,
and Orange County. Of course, the
I'm
Woodstock.
not even sure. I'm not sure what the Honda Center used to be called. Somebody told me it had a different name in
The
Anaheim.
Pond,
The Honda Center, the
the
pond.
Arrowhead
That was
Pond
it.
at one point,
And I totally remember the pond, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
that was
across the
it. The
street
pond.
from
Okay.
Anaheim Stadium, right there.
Yeah. Mark. The first time I saw Mark Slider, he was in Vinnie Vincent, and
Uh-huh.
it was at Harpo's,
Okay.
and we were on the road, and we went down and saw Vinnie Vincent. We were just hanging out, at the bar, or whatever, and they
Yeah.
played a really high stage, I remember, and so we kind of got that history, and then when we had a record release party, we played in the Capitol Records. Well, we didn't really actually play, but I jammed with Vivian Campbell. We played like Red House or something, but we had the Ventures play.
Was that in the parking lot
And we
in the
had,
back?
yeah, of the Tower Records
Oh,
in
wow.
Hollywood. yeah, it was like 1,000 people. We had jugglers, sword swallower people.
Oh
It was
yeah,
just crazy party,
that
right?
was the
And Mark
greatest
Slider
record
was
store
at that.
everywhere. That was the greatest store of all time, man. Tower Sunset.
Yeah.
You could go in there on
No,
any
no,
given day.
no. It was Capital. No, it was Capital Records
Oh,
parking
Capitol
lot.
Records parking lot. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
went to I went to
Yeah,
shows. I saw Helix. Helix did a show. Duran Duran did a show back there. A bunch of Capitol acts.
on their. Yeah, we did it for a release party for Hooked,
Oh
and
wow.
it was just amazing to hear the Ventures play live. How incredible they are! I can't believe how great that band is, man.
Oh
That was
yeah.
so cool.
No, such history in Hollywood. You drive up and down the streets, and of course, the Capitol Tower will never be demolished because the studio in the basement, that is a historical landmark, and
Oh
LA
yeah,
will not allow that building to be torn down because of
that's
that.
awesome, man.
You would have thought
It's
it'd
a
be
sweet
because
building.
of the structure of the building. It's because of the studio. But
Makes
you drive
sense.
up and down the
Makes sense.
streets. Of course, when you were signed to EMI America over there on Sunset by Hollywood High, that became a shoe store at one point, and now
Did
it's
it?
empty. Yeah, there's an In-N-Out
I
Burger right across
remember.
the
I
street.
remember it being very small. The office and
Oh
everything was
yeah,
kind of a small
Red Hot
situation.
Chili Peppers did their first record through them, and all that. It was like, man,
Yeah.
it was
They
crazy.
didn't have a ton of bands when we got signed by them. It was. I remember Queensryche was on the label,
Yeah, Queensryche.
and
Yeah,
and
Armored Saint
a
just
couple
finished a
other.
tour with them. They played at the El Rey
Yeah,
last night. Of course, John Bush. John Bush, I talked to him
yeah,
about auditioning for Great White back in the early days.
yeah, yeah, yeah. John Bush, man, great singer,
Yeah,
good guy, man. It was
awesome guy.
yeah, it wasn't because of his skill level, but it was just the songs I had then was geared for like a Halford range,
Uh-huh.
So I wanted. I was a young kid, so I want to hear, a guy that can scream like Halford for whatever reason. I mean, so that's the only reason we didn't use John. But
Yeah,
but
but there's
man,
there's
he's had a good
several
career.
there's several of those other LA bands that are still out there doing. Of course, Armored Saint toured with Wasp last year. Of course, Blackie and Randy Piper. Didn't Randy
Right.
have a studio down there near Anaheim where he rehearsed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they did. We used to rehearse right next to the Woodstock. It was like literally in the same building. It was like right
I
next
know.
to the
Jack told
club.
me after a rehearsal, he walked next door and there was this little baby band called U2 playing, and there was like 12 people in the audience. That was U2's first show,
Yeah, there was
Anaheim.
11 people. Nobody was paying attention. Four people were playing pinball machines, and the power kept going out. One thing I learned that night, the band was so good, but
Yeah.
the power went out about 3 times, and this guy called Bear, big old 300-pound dude, was going out in the alley and clicking the breaker to make it go back on. But one thing I noticed was how low they played on stage and how great it sounded when the PA was going.
Yeah.
And it made me want to, get my sound, but maybe not be so blasting loud in the clubs.
Right.
And so I kind of learned that from you too. I didn't play quite as low as them, but I would just get my sound and let the PA do the work,
Sure.
because if you have that teenage mentality that you think your amp has to be super loud,
Yeah.
all it does is kind of mess it up for the guy doing your mixing in the house.
Right.
So if you can not have your amp so loud that it's bleeding over mics, and so that I kind of learned that, and the band learned that, get your sound, but don't just be stupidly loud like you're trying to get the sound to the crowd. Let the PA do the
Right.
work.
A great band and a great song
And it'll sound a
should
lot better that way.
yeah, great song, great band should blow people away even at a lower volume, and then the PA takes over from there.
Yeah, the PA can be blasting your ears out, but it just makes it easier to mix the band, and it's more friendly to listen to. and you two were just insane. I don't think it was longer than a year after that
Oh
they
no,
were the
the
biggest
second
band ever.
I worked with them, the first show was at the Country Club the night before. They drew 600 people because K Rock was playing the
Right.
single, but Orange County only had 11 people. And then they came back to town. They played Santa Monica Civic and sold it out. And then the third show, they
Yeah,
played the Palladium. And then after that, they played the US Festival and blew everybody off the stage.
dude. I'm telling you, man, it's mind blowing how quick they hit because they have the songs. You know, they have the songs.
They had the passion.
You
Well,
know,
of
I
course, at US
remember.
Festival, Bono climbed the whole rig. He climbed all the way to the top of the scaffolding. And I spoke to
We
crew members and they're like, man, that motherfucker, insurance is not going to cover that, They thought he was going to fall
we
from the sky.
played one time. We played Belfast with Whitesnake and
Uh-huh.
in Ireland, and a couple Def Leppard guys came that night.
Yeah.
But the night before, we went and saw the Simple Minds.
Oh yeah.
Remember that band?
Great
They're
band.
from Ireland too. Yeah, they played. They played that song "Don't Forget About Me" or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And that was a pretty cool show, man.
The
I just
singer
kind of
was
kicked
married.
back.
The singer was married to Chrissy Hynde from the Pretenders for a while.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that singer was really good. The band, it's that that type of music.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I think you too, did their stuff a little better.
Well,
But
I always
Simple
say,
Minds had a sound too.
I always say, you two exploded, and there were bands really good like The Alarm and Simple Minds that were just in their shadow. You
Yeah,
couldn't escape the shadow of you two.
yeah.
It was like
Well, the songs they came with were so, for one thing, that Edge or whatever, the guitar
yeah,
player was so melodic and had his own style, and the right hand was always going. It was like
yeah,
almost like they had an additional percussionist or something. You
yeah.
know,
He had
he
that
was just
echo, and
brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant
they would
guitar
create
player.
that atmospheric kind of sound, and
Beautiful.
Bono would go crazy
And
and
there's a
emotional.
moment that's it. There's a moment on YouTube. I don't know what show this was, but Mick Jagger comes on stage with U2 and
Okay.
sings, and it's God. I wish I could remember the song.
And of course, you
The
two kicked
heat
off the Sphere.
in the heat in the moment or something
Okay.
about in the moment and the power of Mick Jagger's presence
Uh-huh.
going on the stage with U2. It's like you could feel it through your computer screen.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing, and he just does great.
Yeah.
That was a pretty nice jam. That was
Of
pretty
course,
cool,
you
man.
you two did almost a year run at the Sphere, kicking off that amazing new venue in Vegas. So, but yeah, to see them go
Oh,
from
really?
11, it lasted almost a year.
They did a residency
Yeah.
for that
And
long?
and and the place
Oh.
holds like 16,000 people, and they did like 120 shows or something.
I know Scorpions have done that a couple of times. I didn't go this last time, but the time before they played
Yeah, they're playing at the Back Theater, which is part of, I believe, Planet Hollywood. It used to be the
yeah.
old Aladdin. That's where Scorpions played. Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
My friend years ago saw Queen at the Aladdin, and
I
he said you couldn't believe it. There was a curtain,
uh-huh.
and they started with "We will rock you."
Now I'm
We
here,
will
probably.
rock you,
Now
right?
I'm here. They used to do
No,
that.
they started with "We Will Rock You." It was
Okay.
just like boom, boom, bah, boom, boom, and all this fog was rolling from under the curtain,
Uh-huh.
and it opened. Can you imagine Queen,
Right.
dude?
Freddie Mercury on the piano for
Oh
We
my
Are the
god!
Champions.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my
I saw
god!
this great show. I just talked to Doug Aldrich. He was in Dio at the time. It was Scorpions, Deep Purple, and Dio at the Aladdin. And those other two bands were
Cool,
so
man.
big, Dio had to open.
I never even saw. I've never seen a show at the Aladdin. Never played there.
Yeah.
We played about every other venue you could possibly play in Vegas, but not the Aladdin.
Man. Well, we're all going to be there. Anaheim, check it out. It is the OC Metal Meltdown. Check out, of course, Great
Sweet.
White with the mighty Quiet Riot, Slaughter, and Dixon
Yeah.
with Britt Lightning and the crew, Lorraine Lewis,
Yeah.
and everybody. Roxy
Yeah.
is
Great singer. Great
yeah.
singer, Lorraine.
Everybody's going to kick ass, man. And it is a hometown show for Mr. Mark Kendall and the boys. That's where
Yeah.
they rehearse. That's where they paid their dues. The South Bay, the Orange County, and like I said, I was one
Oh
of the
yeah.
first to ever see him in Hollywood. Right there, Dante Fox at the Starwood. Mark, we can't thank you enough. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Want to see everybody out there at the Anaheim state the damn arena, man. It is unbelievable. It's going to be fun. Till we speak again, man.
Thanks,
Keep
man.
rocking. Give my best to the band and your great family there.
Thanks so much, man. Take care. Thank you.